The San Francisco 49ers got back to their winning ways, thanks to big plays from the offense, a somewhat overmatched opponent, and, importantly, much better play from the defense. Welcome to Josh's Football Breakdowns, where we don't tell you what you're seeing, we let the film tell us what we're seeing. And what we saw on Sunday was Kyle Shanahan at his best. There's a lot of cool plays I want to show you in this game, so let's get right into it. Over the past several years, there's been a common theme that's developed. When Kyle Shanahan wants to win a big game, he leans on Deebo Samuel. And I think it was no accident that here, on the first play of the game for the 49er offense, it is Deebo Samuel lined up in the backfield at the running back position. The 49ers put two of their best blocking offensive weapons on the left side of the formation, George Kittle and Jauan Jennings. And they also line up Kyle Juszczyk over there as well. And for good measure, they have Trent Williams and Aaron Banks immediately head to their left at the snap. The play design is simple. They're going to get the ball into the hands of one of their best playmakers with blockers out in front. The pursuit from the Patriots is good, but the play is still a success, gaining 6 yards. Moving ahead a few plays, it's already a good time to start talking about the game situation. The 49ers have advanced the ball to the 29 where they're facing a 2nd down and 2. Now you may have noticed the Patriots got the ball first and punted to San Francisco, so the Niners were backed up against their own goal line to start this drive. Now while you certainly can do a long drive way down the field, it typically is a lot easier if you can get a big play or a few big plays to help you along the way. So here, the 49ers decide to take a deep shot, and I love everything about this decision. They're doing it on 2nd down and short, so that if they don't get it, they can still try to pick up the 1st down on the next play. And I like the way they go about doing it as well. Let's take a look. Once again, they line up Deebo Samuel in the backfield. With Deebo in the backfield on 2nd down and short, the Patriots are clearly expecting a run, and they line up with a 5-man front. The 49ers play right into this, faking the handoff to Deebo Samuel, and to help sell the fake, they pull the guard and Kyle Juszczyk, and the linebackers for the Patriots react. And what really makes this play work is both corners peek in the backfield. Now they do eventually drop into a zone, but it's a very shallow zone. The Patriots are still thinking in terms of defending the line to gain. It's 2nd down and short. And as a result, Jauan Jennings and Brandon Aiyuk blow right by them, essentially putting them one-on-one with the safeties. Jauan Jennings goes deep. The Patriots don't want to give up a long touchdown, so both safeties go with him, and there's nobody left to pick up Brandon Aiyuk underneath. And that's just too easy. 38-yard gain on the play. What do you need to throw the ball deep? Time. And remember, they pulled the guard, Dominic Pooney, so it's a little strange to see him out there to the left, especially with Trent Williams in the middle with nobody to block. Now, Dietrich Wise Jr. does eventually get past George Kittle, but Kittle gives Brock Purdy plenty of time to get rid of this football. And this is one of those times where we see the design of the play as well as the timing of the play call masterfully executed by Kyle Shanahan. And Wise lets up at the very end, not throwing Brock Purdy to the turf, which would have been a penalty. The play would lead directly to a Jake Moody field goal, and the 49ers would strike first, leading 3-0. So the Patriots take over, and they'd like to get their running game going. So this is going to be a handoff to Ramondre Stevenson. They send the tight end upfield to block, and to pick up the defensive end, they pull the guard. but Okayanonu is too fast for this. He penetrates straight into the backfield and then rips out the football. Fumble, and the 49ers recover. The 49ers put a lot of young players on the field on defense in this game, and here Okayanonu makes a big play, the first of several big plays we would see throughout this game. Okayanonu's story is incredible, coming all the way from Liberia and eventually making his way to the NFL. So the 49ers get the ball, and this would lead to another Jake Moody field goal. And I was a bit hard on Moody last week, but he has made all of his kicks this season except for the 55-yarder, which was close. So the 49ers lead 6-0, and the Patriots get the ball back. On 3rd and 5, the 49ers play a little game with their defense, putting 6 men up at the line of scrimmage, but the linebackers would drop back into coverage at the snap. And here Jacoby Brissett does have some good options. When the tight end Hunter Hearst Henry comes underneath, Devondre Campbell should pass him off to Fred Warner. He doesn't, he goes with him. So now we have 2 players defending Henry and nobody defending the rookie wide receiver for the Patriots, Polk. Fortunately, Jacoby Brissett is reading the other side of the field, but he also has a good option over there. When Thornton goes deep, the safety backpedals, and then he goes to the middle, taking the space defense left behind, finding the hole in the zone, and he should be open enough for Brissett to get him a pass here. But turn your attention to the pocket. Take a look at the pass rush of Leonard Floyd, because he beats his man, and I believe as a result, Jacoby Brissett hurried his throw. Fred Warner leaps in the air, hits the ground hard, gets up, makes a man miss, and then outruns everyone down the sideline. And then he dives into the end zone. Touchdown 49ers. Wow, what a play. Now Brissett does need to get this football up and over the linebacker level, but then down into the receiver before the safeties can get over and make the play. It's a little bit, trickier than it should be here. We've seen Brock Purdy do this masterfully a number of times, but again, I believe because of the rush of Leonard Floyd, Brissett hurried his throw here. He sort of throws a bullet, and Warner's able to jump up and then get the pick. He jumps so high, that's a hard hit, but he still gets up, makes a man miss, and then heads for the end zone. Fred Warner, unbelievable player, and as we've been saying on this channel, looks like a career year for Fred Warner. This is exciting to watch. And then finally, it's a little thing, but he finishes the play, holding the ball out over the goal line, making sure this counts as a touchdown. After the point after, the 49ers would take the lead 13-0, and here the Patriots are facing a key 4th down and 1. And he is short. Let's go back to the snap. The success against this run started with the great penetration of Malik Collins, and he gets in the backfield and disrupts the play. Okay, great, but Stevenson is a professional. This play is not over. He adjusts, but look who's waiting for him, Fred Warner. Warner corrals him, but the player that finally stops him cold is the second-year player, Jair Brown, the safety. 4th and short stops are typically team defensive efforts, and this play is no exception. So already we've seen a lost fumble, an interception, and a turnover on downs for the Patriots, and now the ball is back in Brock Purdy's hands with a chance to do some more damage. And here we would see another aggressive play design by Kyle Shanahan. When Brandon Aiyuk goes deep, his man would go with him, and Jauan Jennings would come across, taking the space the defense left behind. But wait a second, it looks like there's a defender right there with Jauan Jennings. Well, that man is a linebacker. That's a mismatch. He's not going to be able to stay with Jennings, and Brock Purdy is all over it. Two cool things I kind of want you to watch on this play. Number one, Brock Purdy kind of guns this ball in there from far away. Now, there's been so much made of Brock Purdy's arm strength, but he does work on it every offseason, and this is a pretty nice pass, as you'll see here. The other thing, though, is this player way on the side for the Patriots recognizes the play and comes over, and I think he disrupts Jauan Jennings enough to prevent this from being an even bigger play. Who in the heck would recognize a play like that from so far away? It's the veteran, Jabril Peppers. Once again, what do you need to throw the ball deep? Time. And this time the 49ers are helped out by the fact that the Patriots are only rushing 3. If you looked at my video of the Seahawks against the Patriots, we know that this is something the Patriots do very, very rarely. And we can see they've dropped Keon White back into coverage here. They're clearly trying to confuse Brock Purdy. But with respect to Jerod Mayo, you're not Brian Flores. And then Pepper slows Jennings down just enough, but it's still a 32-yard gain on the play. So moving ahead in the drive, we're going to take a look at a play we've looked at a number of times on this channel before, as it's part of the Shanahan playbook. Jordan Mason heads to the outside, the defender runs over to cover him, and then he cuts back to the inside on the Texas route. And this is helped out by the route of number 19 here. No, that's not Deebo Samuel, that's Jacob Cowing. Mason would take it into the end zone, but we see the flag come out there. Let's go back to the snap and see if we can figure out what's going on here. First of all, the play. It might look like Marco Wilson is in a good position to take on Jordan Mason here, but he's got to switch directions. And when you have to switch directions, you're already beaten. Okay, and now the penalty flag. They would call holding on George Kittle. Now, in regards to the rule, you can grab and hold, but your hands have to be inside the framework of the body. Well, if we take a look at George Kittle's left hand here, we can see that it definitely is on the inside of the framework of the body. So now let's rotate around and take a look at his other hand. And his right hand is also to the inside. It might look like it's up high, but look carefully. He's not grabbing that shoulder pad. He grabbed it down below and then his hand ended up high, but it's still the same part of the jersey. You can think of it as look at Kittle's arm and then look at the defender's arm. Kittle's arm is definitely to the inside, and then he lets go of him at the end of the play. This was a legal block and should not have been called for holding. This is a missed call by the official. And then the official does something really careless here and hits Jordan Mason in the head with the flag. You know, those flags have weights in the bottom of them, and there was a situation. Let's go back to 1999. Orlando Brown got hit in the eye and was blinded and essentially ended his NFL career, at least for several years. Brown was a tremendous player. He played on both the offense and defensive line, but due to a freak accident with the flag, essentially put a halt to his NFL career. This was part of a whole string of sloppiness from the officials in this game. And here we would see something really interesting. George Kittle is helping Jauan Jennings get set. And since he's still getting set, he makes sure the offense does not snap the football. Jennings gets set first, and then they snap the ball. But again, we see the flag come out. The officials would rule that Jennings was not set, wiping another touchdown off the board. And that's a real shame because that was vintage Brock Purdy. And here the Patriots are doing the right thing, defending the end zone. They've got 2 men on George Kittle and nobody on Deebo Samuel. I wonder if Deebo doesn't pick up this first down. But Brock Purdy sees these defenders are not in great position against Kittle. He knows he's going to come open. He can't resist, and he takes the throw. And Kittle goes up and makes a tremendous catch. The 49ers would not be denied. Touchdown, San Francisco. And here we would get a great look at more excellent pass protection by Kyle Juszczyk. Colton McKivitz, on the other hand, leads the league in pressures allowed. And if we're being technical, Brock Purdy could have put this football a little closer to the back pylon. But George Kittle was open enough that it didn't make a difference, and importantly, he went up high and attacked the football at its highest point. The defenders really had no chance, and Kittle makes a great catch to secure the touchdown. Now I'm going to show you another field goal here, but I have good reason to do it, because here we get another sort of look into a slice of NFL history. Look where Joey Slyle is lined up. This is going to be a 63-yard attempt. He's standing behind the logo. Well, I'm old enough to remember when David Akers made a 63-yard field goal back in 2012. I wonder how many of you remember when Tom Dempsey made a 63-yard field goal in 1970. That was an NFL record at the time, and it stood for 43 years. It was eventually tied by other players, including David Akers. The record was finally broken in 2013 by Matt Prater, who made a 64-yarder. The current record is held by Justin Tucker, who made a 66-yarder just 3 years ago. But this is still an incredibly impressive kick. Let's move ahead to the third quarter. The Patriots got the ball to open the game, so the 49ers would get the ball to open the second half, but Guerrero fumbles the football and it's recovered by New England. Oh my goodness, special teams again for the Niners. The only thing I can think of here is that I guess Guerrero wanted to hit this hole and was surprised when the blocker was pushed back into him. Nevertheless, this is just completely unacceptable, period, point blank. The Patriots capitalize on this by faking the handoff to Ramondre Stevenson. The tight end, Austin Hooper, the Hooper scooper, allows Nick Bosa to get to the inside. Bosa thinks, great, I've got a rush lane, but then Hooper goes out for a pass. A fairly common play in the NFL, and here it's executed well by New England. And with the field goal before the end of the half and the touchdown, they've scored 10 straight points. The 49ers still lead it 20-10, and now they have the football. New England is right to be wary of this, so here they send a blitz. Well, one thing I love about this game was Kyle Shanahan's play calling. He knew that this was a moment for the 49ers to respond, so here he dials up another big shot. Now, New England is sending a blitz, so the 49ers will have to withstand that, but if their offensive line can hold, there are fewer defenders on the back end. So let's take a look at the route of Deebo Samuel. First of all, he widens, but he doesn't just widen. He actually turns his shoulder to the sideline and kind of looks in that direction as well. As a result, Jonathan Jones is slow to get out of his back pedal, and Deebo Samuel blows right by him. When Brandon Aiyuk comes across from the other side, he's picked up by Jalen Hawkins, the safety. Christian Gonzalez gets some depth here, but he's way too far away from the play, and Brock Purdy is all over it. Brock lets this go at the 20, and it's caught just inside of the 30, so about 50 yards in the air. Not too bad for Brock Purdy. This play is brought to you by Kyle Juszczyk. And we did see the ball come out at the end. Don't you have to maintain control going to the ground? Well, let's check it out. Catch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps first. So he had control while running and was then tackled. So in that instance, he does not need to maintain control. Once he goes down, he's down, and that's the end of the play. The 49ers would punch it in, and there's a lot of little things I like about this play. First of all, when Joshua Uche gets a great jump off the line, George Kittle kind of just lets him run himself out of the play. It's a very judo-esque move from Kittle, and Kittle, as we know, just puts on a masterclass of blocking week in and week out. Next, take a look at the hands of Trent Williams. Right now his hand is on the outside of the framework. As this play progresses, you'll see him move his hands to the inside and then let go. He doesn't hold. So great hand work there by Trent Williams. And finally, I always love to see this, Deebo Samuel blocking 2 players on the same play. Touchdown, Jordan Mason, and the 49ers go back up by 2 scores, 27-13. And they would get the ball back. We're in the 4th quarter now, and the 49ers are in total control of this game, and here we would see Brock Purdy's sort of one big mistake of the game. Brandon Aiyuk appears to have beaten his man, but it looks like Purdy doesn't see Jabril Peppers waiting for him on the other side of the field. I wonder if Purdy's vision was obscured here, but in any event, he decides to throw this football, and it is intercepted by New England. Nevertheless, we have to acknowledge the outstanding start Brock Purdy has had to this year. He is number 1 in the NFL in yards per attempt and number 2 in passing yards. All right, time for New England's last gasp here. 3rd and 6. They're trying to score. You got to respect them for that. But here it would be Nick Bosa's time to shine, beating his man on the speed rush. Sack, fumble, and fumble recovery by Nick Bosa. The hat trick to end the game. And that'll do it. Moody adds a field goal, so the final score is 49ers 30, New England 13. San Francisco absolutely dominated this game, essentially from start to finish. Next week, they will take on Arizona with their high-flying offense, so it'll be a real test for this defense who seemed to figure out what they were doing in this game. It would be great if the 49ers can build off that, because in 2 weeks, there is a huge division matchup looming in Seattle. I mentioned Brock Purdy was number 2 in the league in passing yards. Number 1, Geno Smith. So that is going to be an outstanding game on Thursday Night Football. A repeat strong performance by the defense again next week will make me feel pretty good going into that Thursday night game. And next week, I would really like to see the special teams get through a game clean. Please, please, please. We're all begging you. I want to thank all my new subscribers. 9 of you decided to share these videos last week. Thank you so much. That really helps out the channel. It takes a long time to make a video like this. If you could hit that like button on your way out, I would really appreciate it. I especially want to thank those of you who have gone the extra mile to help this channel out. I could not do this without your support. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And of course, an extra special thanks to our Patreon supporters. You guys are tremendous. You are an essential part of the team. I value you. You humble me. You honor me. Thank you so much. It is truly appreciated. All right, next week, the 49ers and the Cardinals. The defense will be put to the test. The offense, we'll see what they can do. Arizona has been struggling on D, so I look for another strong game from Brock Purdy. The 49ers have a chance to build off of this, again, heading into that big division matchup in Seattle. I don't know what's going to happen next week in Arizona, but you know we are going to be here to break down that film, and I will see you guys then.